Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my channel, Christy's Musings. I'm Christy, aka Tigger. Today I wanted to start out by reading James chapter 1, starting in verse 19. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of God. Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, Jesus is the word, which is able to save your souls. Be ye doers, but be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. For if any be a hearer of the word, and not a doer, he is like unto a man holding his natural face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself, and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty, and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. If any man among you seem to be religious, and bridleth not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, this man's religion is vain. Pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this: to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. You know, I see so often here lately, so much going on. And, I work in a hospital lab, so I see how sinful behaviors play out in the human body. But I see things happening and people going along with things, and I'm like, did you forget that just a few years ago this happened? And I'm like, I'm starting to believe that people have short memories and short attention spans. But if I were the mother, if I were the parent, or the mother especially, of a family member or friend who had gone over to the Middle East and had given their life over there for all of the lies that we were told back in that day and time, I would be highly angry. Sorry, you got a tickle on my nose. But I remember this lady, I don't remember her last name, but her name was Cindy. And she sat for the longest time on the entryway going on to George Bush's Texas property. And she was angry because she had lost a child over in those wars. And everybody ridiculed this woman and talked crap about her because she was going against Bush, who was the it man of the day. But now George Bush can sit at dinners and laugh about the fact that there were no weapons of mass D. And so I'm saying all of this because I see a lot of people as Christians acting in ways that I never would have believed. And I see this country following. It is like, did you forget we're not supposed to have any king but Jesus? But I see our president going to Syria and shaking hands of people that just a few years ago we were told they were our enemies. And it just makes me think about how we forget where we have been and where we come from. In my own family, I have told you all that I've had a past that I'm not happy about. I had things happen to me. I was in traumatic situations and I made decisions based on fear and trauma. And now I'm paying for it because I have children that don't talk to me. I have all these pictures of my children that I kept as they were growing up. And I feel like, one of the best things that happened to my son is when he decided to take it upon himself to go through the pictures and to put them into files and such. I feel like that, it allowed him to see where he had come from. And things have been, to me, I feel like things have been a little bit different since he's done that. And I wish I could do the same for my daughters. But as far as this country and as far as Christians, used to have this book called Fox's Book of Martyrs. And over the years, with all the moves and everything, I've lost it. But I do have this one that came out in the 90s by DC Talk. It's called Jesus Freaks. And it says DC Talk and the Voice of the Martyrs. If you could get your hands on, even if you just go to the library and get a copy of it, read the Voice of the Martyrs and see what Christians went through back in the day when they were being martyred for their beliefs and for their stand as a Christian, and see where we come from. And then you see this mealy mouth representation of what we call Christianity today. It will blow your mind. But another thing, get yourself a copy of the Declaration of Independence and read the Declaration of Independence and see what our forefathers went through and why they decided to break away from the King of England, and realize that we're working ourselves back into a situation where we will have tyrants over us. I just believe that some of the people that went before us, they must be rolling over in their graves to see, like I said, the way that we have allowed the idea of peace and safety to move us into a direction that is so far removed from what Jesus Christ has in store for us. I hope you all are doing well. I'm working on a couple of projects and I've got some stuff lined up, the outline. I'm trying to figure out how to put it all into a format that makes some sense. Two different ideas that I'm working on. So it may end up this week doing two more videos. I don't know. But I would like to hear your thoughts on this current situation with Syria and all of these wars. And, Bernie Sanders, I like him, sort of, but he's just doing the same thing as Donald Trump, promising no wars and everything, but he's still in the pocket of Israel. So I would just take a wooden nickel for anything that he had to say. I think he's just trying to campaign for himself. I don't believe anything coming out of that place anymore. Like I said, to me, that's done for me. I just focus on my own area and everything. I don't know. I sometimes, I'm sure you all do too, but I feel overwhelmed with what can I do. And that's why I keep doing my videos. And I ask you all, if you agree with the things that I say, to please like, share, subscribe, and maybe we can work together and figure out what the heck we're going to do with this country. Because what they're doing in Washington, it ain't working. Love you all. Talk to you later.